As most of you probably know already, the coronavirus is a very big deal, not only in the United States, but throughout the whole world. There are currently 1,453,113 cases and 83,584 deaths from the coronavirus, according to Worldometer. Worldometer is a live feed that is constantly being updated. Every minute it is growing by about 50 cases. Today I'm going to explain to you what exactly the coronavirus is, who all is affected, and how you can prevent or get rid of it. I hope by the end of my speech I will have persuaded you to actually be concerned about the coronavirus no matter what your age is. In late 2019, someone at the now world famous Hunan seafood market in Wuhan was infected with a virus from an animal. The rest is part of an awful history still in the making, with COVID-19 spreading from that first cluster at the capital of China's province to a pandemic that has killed about 80,000 people so far, according to The Guardian. The Guardian says, a scaly mammal that looks like an anteater has made it to news bulletins suggesting that this animal was the staging point of the virus before it jumped to humans. But there is uncertainty about several aspects of the COVID-19 origin story that scientists are trying hard to unravel, including which species passed it to humans. They're trying hard because knowing how a pandemic starts is the key to stopping the next one. Evelyn Turney, head of the Department of Microbiology at Melbourne's Monash University, says, what's most likely is that the virus originated in bats. One animal implicated as an intermediary host between bats and humans is the pangolin. The International Union for Conservation of Nature says they are the most illegally traded mammal in the world and are prized for their meat and the claimed medicinal properties of their scales. The study Holmes worked on suggested that the scenario in which a human at the Wuhan market interacted with an animal that carried the virus was only one potential version of the COVID-19 origin story. Another was the possibility that a descendant of the virus jumped into humans and then adapted as it was passed from human to human, according to The Guardian. According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the virus that causes COVID-19 is thought to spread mainly from person to person, mainly through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby or possibly be inhaled through the lungs. Spread is more likely to happen when people are in close contact with one another, usually within 6 feet. COVID-19 can be spread very easily. Usually in the beginning of your illness, you don't even know that you have it. If you go to the store or a public place and sneeze or cough, you just spread it to however many people. Even if you didn't cough on someone and you coughed on an object, the virus can linger on that object for many, many days. A way that you can prevent it is with quarantine. Quarantine means separating a person or group of people who have been exposed to a contagious disease but have not yet developed illness symptoms from others who have not yet been exposed, in order to prevent the possible spread of that disease. Quarantine is usually established for the incubation period of the communicable disease, which is the span of the time during which people have developed illness after exposure. For COVID-19, the period of quarantine is 14 days from the last date of exposure, because the incubation period of this virus is 2 to 14 days. Someone who has been released from COVID-19 quarantine is not considered a risk for spreading the virus to others because they have not developed illness during the incubation period, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention states. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also states that COVID-19 is a new disease and there is limited information regarding risk factors for severe disease. Based on currently available information and clinical expertise, older adults and people of any age who have serious underlying medical conditions might be at a higher risk for severe illness from COVID-19. Based on what we know, those at high risk for severe illness from COVID-19 are people aged 65 years and older, people who live in a nursing home or long-term care facility, people of all ages with underlying medical conditions, particularly if not well controlled, including people with chronic lung disease or moderate to severe asthma, people who have serious heart conditions, people who are involved with cancer treatments, smoking, bone marrow, organ transplantation, immune deficiencies, poorly controlled HIV or AIDS, and prolonged use of immune-weakening medications, people with severe obesity, people with diabetes, people with chronic kidney disease, and lastly, people with liver disease. Just because those are the people that are at a higher risk doesn't mean that you won't get the coronavirus. Even if you don't have one of those problems, you can definitely still get the coronavirus. There has been 2 students that I know of at Piper that have tested positive for the coronavirus. It is possible for you to get the coronavirus no matter what your age is. Once you have the coronavirus and you continue to go and hang out with people or go see family or to a public place, you're potentially putting all of those people at risk too. Not only those people, but their families. According to Family Doctor, you can prevent getting the coronavirus by practicing social distancing, avoiding people who are sick or meeting in large groups, staying home if you are sick or experiencing any symptoms, cover your cough with a tissue or cover your cough with the sleeve of your elbow like this, and make sure you are constantly washing your hands and do not cough into your hands. Wash your hands Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after going to the bathroom, before eating, after blowing your nose, coughing, and sneezing. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Always wash your hands with soap and water. Avoid touching your mouth, nose, and eyes as much as you possibly can. According to Science Mag, the vaccine Haller volunteered to test is made by Moderna, a well-financed biotech that has yet to bring a product to market. Moderna and China's CanSino biologists are the first to launch small clinical trials of vaccines against coronavirus disease to see whether they are safe and can trigger immune responses. An ever-growing table put together by the World Health Organization now lists 52 other vaccine candidates that could soon follow. This is a wonderful response from the biomedical community to an epidemic, says Lawrence Corey, a virologist at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center, who has run vaccine trials against a dozen diseases but is not involved with a COVID-19 effort. Everyone can be affected by the coronavirus, so everyone should be concerned. Like I said earlier, 2 students that I know of from Piper have tested positive for the coronavirus, so you can be affected too. If you don't care, you should care, because by you going out and hanging with friends or by going out in public, you're not only putting yourself at risk, but also the people you live with, your friends, your families, their families, and so many more people. So please, stay inside and take precautions. As you learned in the beginning of my speech, there are 1,453,113 cases and 83,584 deaths, and growing by the minute. According to Worldometer, I hope you have a better understanding about the coronavirus, who's affected, and how you can prevent it. I also hope I have persuaded you to take precautions and be concerned about the coronavirus. Thank you.